4 Kings, 2 Kings, chapter 2. And it came to pass, when the Lord would take up Elias into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elias and Eliseus were going from Galgal.
And Elias said to Eliseus, Stay thou here, because the Lord hath sent me as far as Bethel. And Eliseus said to him, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And when they were come down to Bethel, the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Eliseus, and said to him, Dost thou know that this day the Lord will take away thy master from thee? And he answered, I also know it. Hold your peace.
And Elias said to Eliseus, Stay here, because the Lord hath sent me to Jericho. And he said, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And when they were come to Jericho,
the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Eliseus, and said to him, Dost thou know that this day the Lord will take away thy master from thee? And he said, I also know it. Hold your peace.
And Elias said to him, Stay here, because the Lord hath sent me as far as the Jordan. And he said, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they two went on together. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets followed them, and stood in sight at a distance. But they two stood by the Jordan. And Elias took his mantle, and folded it together, and struck the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, and they both passed over on dry ground. And when they were gone over, Elias said to Eliseus, Ask what thou wilt have me to do for thee, before I be taken away from thee. And Eliseus said, I beseech thee, that in me may be thy double spirit.
And he answered, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, thou shalt have what thou hast asked. But if thou see me not, thou shalt not have it.
And as they went on, walking and talking together, behold, a fiery chariot and fiery horses parted them both asunder, and Elias went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw him, and cried, My father, the chariot of Israel, and the driver thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own garments, and rent them in 2 pieces.
And he took up the mantle of Elias that fell from him, and going back, he stood on the bank of the Jordan. And he struck the waters with the mantle of Elias that had fallen from him, and they were not divided. And he said, Where is now the God of Elias? And he struck the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, and Eliseus passed over.
And the sons of the prophets at Jericho, who were over against him, seeing it, said, The spirit of Elias hath rested upon Eliseus. And coming to meet him, they worshipped him, falling to the ground. And they said to him, Behold, there are with thy servants 50 strong men that can go and seek thy master, lest perhaps the Spirit of the Lord hath taken him up and cast him upon some mountain or into some valley. And he said, Do not send.
But they pressed him till he consented, and said, Send. And they sent 50 men, and they sought 3 days, but found him not. And they came back to him, for he abode at Jericho. And he said to them, Did I not say to you, Do not send?
And the men of the city said to Eliseus, Behold, the situation of this city is very good, as thou, my lord, seest, but the waters are very bad, and the ground barren. And he said, Bring me a new vessel, and put salt into it. And when they had brought it, he went out to the spring of the waters, and cast the salt into it, and said, Thus saith the Lord, I have healed these waters, and there shall be no more in them death or barrenness. And the waters were healed unto this day, according to the word of Eliseus, which he spoke. And he went up from thence to Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, little boys came out of the city and mocked him, saying, Go up, thou bald head! Go up, thou bald head! And looking back, he saw them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord.
And there came forth 2 bears out of the forest, and tore of them 42 boys.
And from thence he went to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria.
From PrayLamp, peace be with you.